We have already seen through all the episodes in this series too that the period of heaven and hell is of two equal halves, totaling to 5,000 years. According to the knowledge being imparted by the self-manifested Shiva Shankara, the symbolic representation of the heaven and hell being of equal duration with 4 ages or 4 aeons or 4 quarters is the popular symbol found in all world cultures, the swastika, the Gammadion. The duration of heaven is 2500 years and the duration of the hell is also equally 2500 years. The same is mentioned in Gita verse 17 of chapter 8, where the heavenly day and the hellish night are said to be of equal duration. And at the confluence of the end of the old yuga and the beginning of the new yuga, that is, the confluence of end of previous hell and the beginning of the new heaven, during the last 100 years, pictorially shown between the two hands of the clock, encircled in red in the picture of Swastika, the Gammadion, is the 100-year period of dawn, the Amrita Vela, the period when Amrita, meaning nectar of wisdom, is given by the ever unborn supreme intellect Shiva. When he comes to establish dharma, as said in the Gita, the word dharma itself means the knowledge of imbibing the virtues. Thus, the Sat, Treta, Dwapara and Kali are of equal duration of 1250 years each. For additional proofs, please see this link. The arrow marked in white is the period of 100-year Mahabharata war when the souls become virtuous deities and they live full of soul power, the immortal lives during the 2500-year period marked in yellow circle. And then starts the period of night marked with black arrow. That is the period when the humans start becoming demonic owing to body consciousness with reduced soul power. And this is the period of start of composition of variety of scriptures in the order of the establishment of the religions. However, each religion writes about the same story that happened during the 100-year dawn period. However, each religion thinks that that particular story is pertaining to their own religion and hence forms the world of clashing opinion irreligions, which are again dissolved with the auspicious opinion of Shiva again at the dawn after the completion of the 5,000-year equal duration heaven and hell. Thus, the three periods are called heaven, hell, and Brahmaloka, or the day, night, and dawn. Thus, now it is the time of the dawn when all of us have to become universe, that is, one opinion with the universal God. The universal God is in person, currently giving the knowledge by establishing the one and only one university, which produces noble people called deities. By bringing all humans, the 7.5 billion humans, to one opinion and making them universe. Please enlighten yourself by taking the most auspicious once in world cycle time opportunity to join the Brahmaloka, the Godfatherly spiritual university. At the earliest, Godfather provides the auspicious true wisdom for no charges ever. Please contact the email ID or the email ID mentioned below. And any questions on the presentation may be emailed to this email ID. The twin halves of heaven and hell, the day and night, we've already proven in series 2. However, we will see the proofs from the Egyptian texts and certain pictorial proofs of temple and monuments. We request the viewers to focus their attention on the 6 standard color codes for perceiving the depth of the meanings. Each of the word we are going to cover from the Egyptian text do not have the literal meaning at all. They are metaphorical in accordance with these color codes. Here is a paragraph from the Egyptian pyramid text pyramid of light from sacred texts, which is the evidence of equal duration of heaven and hell. On the day of equinox, the equal division of light and darkness, we are standing on the equator, the equal divider of the earth into the hemispheres of north and south, and that we take up our position, say, at the point where it is cut by the meridian of Memphis, close to the lake from whence flow the waters of the life-giving river. At our feet is spread the great plain passing through the celestial poles and bounded by the purple arc, which encircles the floor of the starry dome. The picture of the dome is here. From the midst of our horizon, on that day rises the sun right upwards, and at the summit of his course, where day by day he equally divides the heaven, east and west. On that day alone, he equally divides also the grand arc or grand meridian, which rises transverse from the same horizon and stretches from pole to pole of the azure depths. Then we shall have marked out the 4 cardinal points of the universal sphere, the 4 points whereby the sides of the pyramid of light were defined, the fiery seats, according to the Egyptian theosophy, of the 4 sons of light, whereof the most famous was Hapi, the presiding spirit of the Nile. Into that grand horizon too, when the equal day is done, the sun passes beneath the western waters, and out of it the whole host of stars, from pole to pole, in serried array, each preserving his appointed distance from the solar path, follow him through the silent night, the night of reckoning the spirits, one half springing into light as their leader disappears, the rest completing their numbers, just in time to herald his return from the eastern point of the same grand horizon. The road is of fire, says the ritual. They whirl in fire behind him. The 4 cardinal points of the universal sphere, the 4 points whereby the equal sides of the pyramid of light were defined. The theoretical symbol of the 4 cardinal points is Swastika, the Gammadion, with equal sides like that of the Great Pyramid. They are the 4 equal parts of the world cycle time of the 2 worlds, the heaven and the hell. The total cycle is of 5,000 years, each of the halves of hell and heaven being 2,500 years, and each of the cardinals being 1,250 years. All scriptural evidences are presented in the series 2. Adam, Arjuna, or the Shankar, is the only bodily temple of the Supreme Soul, Supreme Father, who self-manifests at the completion of the equal day and night. 2 of the man-made memorials of this manifestation are Angkor Wat Temple and the Great Pyramid of Giza. This is the aerial view of Angkor Wat Temple, with the central tower being the representation of the king, the pillar of the world, Adam. And here is this tower on the dawn of the spring equinox day, with the sun visible on the tip of the tower. And here is the pyramid with lion among men, Adam, on the dawn of spring equinox day. Both are in the memory of Son of Knowledge, entering the bodily chariot, earthly base, Adam, at the confluence of the end of hell and the beginning of the new heaven. See how wonderfully the man-made and the natural corporeal objects also are in sync with this auspicious event. And all the scriptures have praised this event in many ways. Please understand that we are able to do this work of mapping the scriptures and the images basis the inspiration of the knowledge being imparted currently by the Supreme Soul in the bodily earthly base Adam, Arjuna. During the 100-year period, dawn, marked by the arrow called the equator, at which flows the waters of life-giving river of knowledge, Nile, Ganga, or Jam, from the intellect of Adam, Arjuna, Shankar. The worship-worthy gods and goddesses, the conquerors of lust, are worshipped in a lot of 1, 4, 9, 108,000 Shivlingas. The LiDAR laser scan image of Angkor Wat Vishnu temple shows underwater Shivlingas, a depiction of humans who conquered their bodily organs and became nigredos to rubidos through the water or fire of Shiva's knowledge. The same layout is visible in a nearby Cambodian thousand linga temple. The central portion, when enlarged, is like this. The central one is the perfected Adam, Arjuna, and Shankar. The next four are shown as the horses in the chariot images of Greek and Gita. The next 9, including the central one, then the 108, surrounded by another 1,000, are those who become soul-conscious gods and goddesses in the image of Shiva. Please note, all world temples structures are built in the remembrance of this water of knowledge that flows when Supreme Soul, Son, Shiva, self manifests in the bodily chariot of Adam. In these waters or fire or rain of knowledge, all the ancestral souls of human world immerse themselves, sacrifice their body consciousness, and become in the image of Supreme Soul Shiva. The 100% like Shiva is Adam alone, hence called Shiva Shankar. And thus perfected Adam, the Shiva Shankar, is called Vishnu, which means devoid of any maliceness. His abode is called Parama Vishnu Loka, which is the original name of the Angkor Wat temple. The word Angkor Wat is corrupted version of Nagarvat, which means an enclosure of civilized people. Thus, the civilized people are gods and goddesses alone. We, the clashing opinion people of today, are called the demons of hell. Thus, the now forgotten Gammadion, the symbol of Swastika, was the part of every culture. As you can see, that every country, every culture, every religion had the symbol of swastika as part of their culture. Here is the story of the world cycle that is mentioned in the Gita and all world scriptures in a tabular format. Those interested, especially who are well read of scriptures, will easily be able to relate this table with the knowledge that they already have, owing to reading the scriptures. Parambrahma's knowledge is entirely related to earth and the world drama on earth, whereas the scholars have interpreted all the scriptures mentioning about gods and demons both to be non-human. Thus, according to Parambrahma's knowledge, the corporeal world, that is, the earth, including all planets, the sun, moon, stars, galaxies, etc., are ever existing, meaning eternal. The researchers trying to find the age of Earth and galaxies is meaningless because they are beginningless. The corporeal world, made of 5 elements, goes through the transition of becoming pure and impure. However, they are ever existent. All human researches and discoveries and findings, etc., include certain hypotheses, assumptions, and methods that may have limitations. All the methods have been debated and many remain debatable, and constant research for better methods is part of science. Parambrahma says the life is present only on earth. All the souls of humans and animals, etc., are eternal, meaning beginningless. The soul goes through becoming powerful, meaning intellectual, which is called a living soul, and reduces in soul power, which is mentioned as celestial degrees in the scriptures. And finally, during the period of Kali, the Iron Age, all souls become powerless, nil of intellectual power, hence they are called dead intellect or dead souls. But the meaning of soul being living and dead is not literal like that of body. It's about the soul full of intellectual power or devoid of intellectual power. The world drama on this earth repeats every 5,000 years. During the 100-year confluence of end of one cycle and beginning of another cycle, all the souls roll on this earth ends and they go back to the soul abode, as mentioned in Gita verse 7 of chapter 9 and many others. All the earthly, man-made and naturally made formations dissolve to completely raw form and become pure once again at the end of every 5,000 years. Before the earthly dissolution, the impure or polluted souls are purified through the true knowledge imparted by the ever unborn Supreme Father, Supreme Soul, Shiva, the Bhagavan himself. The destruction or dissolution of the Iron Age world truly means process of revival of souls and nature. We reiterate the Sun, the Yehovah, the Shiva, the Elohim came in 1936 and the 100-year dawn ends in 2036, beginning the day. To recognize and remember the union of dual fathers itself is Raja Yoga. The ever unborn Supreme Father Shiva says, "One who remembers me lovingly in my permanent bodily chariot, his or her character becomes righteous like mine." Thus, please take the opportunity to become righteous by joining the only university in its true meaning called Godfatherly Spiritual World University. Please contact through this email and utilize the opportunity of knowing as well as seeing all the evidences about the Father, the Teacher, the Liberator, all in one universal supreme teacher, the real, the one and only Jagat Guru. 3 series in this channel by name Universal God of Gita. In the series 1, the first 10 episodes, Universal God is proven through the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and in the later 11 to 17 episodes, Universal God is proven through the verses from the Bible, the Quran, the Guru Granth Sahib, the 4 Vedas and the Manusmriti. In series 2, we have 10 short and sweet episodes that prove that the world cycle time is just 5,000 years with equal day and night, in the memorial of which the whole world, all cultures, all religions celebrate the festival of spring equinox. In series 3, we provided world pictorial evidences on the true history is the tree of life. Knowing him is Raja Yoga. In this series, we have proved the tribe, the Elohim, the three-eyed Adam, being the Param Brahma, Shri Guru, through the Jewish Tanakh, the ancient Abrahamic scripture from which the Bible and the Quran have descended, supported by the verses from Gita and Rig Veda. For any questions on our 3 series, please contact this email ID.